So this is where that idea comes from, and I like the idea of my Swiss Army knife. Used to be very popular anyway, but you always had the right tool at the right time at the right place. Okay? And a gardener, because that's all about growing people. That's about pruning. That's sometimes about weeding out. And this is the word that we mentioned in the very beginning, mindsight. And together, again, the global leader would have to have been through these phases, would have to understand what these phases mean in order to be comfortable in a global position. It's the CGG Veritas leadership model. And I'd like to focus on two aspects that I'd say are more aligned with my specialty. And one of them is this first one, people leadership. Again, we come back to relationships, we come back to eagerness, and we come back to that funny word, empowerment. I'd like to try an experiment with you. Okay? Look at the 6 or 3 or 4 words that you wrote about leadership. Take one word that you really, really, really love and just say it out loud.
Charisma.
No.
Synchronization.
No.
Being an example.
Yes. Now I'm going to ask you, how did you feel when I said no? Not happy. Not happy, uncomfortable.
Surprised.
Surprised as well. Oh, then that's a good sound. Okay, that's a good sign. Maybe that doesn't happen. But you really do have a sense of your brain closing down. Okay? And what happened when I said yes? Feeling supported, happy. We get again back into that energy. Okay? And that is exactly what empowerment means. Empowerment is an inner feeling of I can do it. It's not American, it's human. Everybody in this whole wide world wants to feel that they can succeed, that they can do it, that they can have that shot at that energy of yes. And if they don't get it, if they get a negative attitude, what happens? First of all, in a no organization, people don't want to come to work. They don't want to wake up in the morning. They don't feel safe. And they definitely don't have trusting relationships. And so authority creates a psychological fear state. So we talk once again about imagination and innovation. Doesn't happen in a threat state. Okay? Managing crisis and managing emotions, we're already emotional. And I can go on. Okay, we have the initiative, et cetera, and the collaboration, obviously. What happens in a positive environment? Simply enough that we saw, yes turns on the brain's engagement state. I want to do it. I'm receptive. I'm creative. I feel engaged. There is actually neurotransmitters running through your brain. You know those feel-good endorphins? That's what happens. People want to collaborate. They want to work together. These higher positive moods also solve problems better. There's just a sense of collaboration, a sense of accountability. There's different types of trust. We talk about swift trust, which is quick, and we talk about a slower trust. With swift trust is I come in and I say, I trust you automatically. I'm sure if you're here, it's because you're competent. You're going to be open with information. You will share everything that I need to know, everything that people are sharing with you. There's reciprocity. There's integrity. I can count on your moral ethics. And you're accessible. And that's basically swift trust. And then there's deep trust. This is inclusion, security. Jean's reaction, oh, please, no, I don't want you to feel uncomfortable, so I'm going to take care of you. I'm going to be benevolent. Please, just don't say anything. And then there's predictability. So this is just one example of where two people were trying to bond, trying to develop a trusting relationship. It's not about good or bad, okay? We need all of them, but it's understanding where you come from so that you understand where the other person comes from. Some people are more direct communicators, okay? And some people need to include lots of stories in their communication. And I will admit that I have been guilty, was guilty, probably still am. But you would call people at the office and just say, oh, hi, just want your Q3 numbers. Can't you say hello, Maureen? Can't you say, how are you? I'm like, I was being respectful of your time. I'm sorry, I was being nice, okay? So I go to my target, and I want the information, and then we hang up, then we can go to the pub together afterwards, okay? And then there are people that are much more indirect. we're getting down to it, and what I'd like you to look at, and this is something that I really would, an image that I would like you to remember, if you'd like, is I really do think leadership is a capital L. Because you take information from the C-suite, you bring it down, and you make sure that it's constantly being communicated. If you're in the top management here, the top leadership, and you're not aware of the information going down here, then you've got a problem. And the other image I would like you to keep about, actually there are 3 images, is that as a leader, you need, as a team leader, as a leader in general, this process needs to be done. Lessons learned. If you do not do lessons learned when you finish a project, you do not re-engage, you do not re-energize the people. If your idea of lessons learned is, oh, look what went wrong, I don't want to be on your team the next time around. And I'd like you to know, what do they look like? What do you think they look like? Leaders look like this. What do you know about giraffes? When they're born, they're dropped 6 feet. Okay? So usually when I come in as an executive coach, they feel, I've been promoted, but I don't know what's happened. So they feel like they've been dropped into this position. And then they have to stand up quickly and a bit unstably, and they have to stick their heads out. And what's really interesting is with leaders, even though his ears look big there, according to body mass, the ears of a giraffe are the smallest of any mammal. Okay? But because his head is so big, he has to pump blood up to the top of his head. So they have huge hearts. So leaders listen with their heart. And that's why they look like giraffes. Okay? So leaders are naturally optimistic. And that is not just American can do. It's part of looking at the future as better tomorrow, fascinated by the future. Sure, life's tough right now, but tomorrow is going to be better. And I want change. I need change, because if a company that does not change dies. Period. So impatient for that progress and deeply dissatisfied with the status quo. Those are what I'd also like for words for you to take away. And I'd like to say merci. Thank you very much.